And you were my first song, and I still oh sure I still get feelings to get back on the road, and I still get leanings to forget the things I know about myself and the changes that I've gone through, and I am coming to. But you were my first song, and I still was expressed to meanings. I mean the words are still the same, and no loves lose young feelings, but new ones they gain. And the changes that I've been through, and the new ones that I am coming to, and you were my first song, and I still, you were my first song, and I still, you were my first song, and I still love you. This is a song about a sailing boat, and it has more statistics in it than any other song I've ever written. And if the song came about after I saw a documentary which was shown on BBC, ITV, Channel 4 in England many years ago. And it was about a ship that a young man called Erling Johnson hired aboard a sailing ship out of Hamburg called the Peking. And he sailed, he always wanted to see a storm, be involved in a storm around Cape Horn. And this ship was going in that direction, round to Chile. And he signs on board, and he bought a little camera, one of those old-fashioned hand-cranked movie cameras. This is 1928. And he filmed his preparation for the journey, and he filmed the journey as well. And it was a great film, it was very exciting, but when he was an older man, in his 80s, sometime in the 1980s, he put a commentary on the film. And a wonderful thing seemed to happen. The old man became young against the images of the young man on the film as he talked about this adventure. And I mean, the adventure itself would have been worth writing a song about, but actually the magic, the bit of magic that made me want to do it was his instruction that sometimes in order to know how great life is, you need to be near the edge of danger, just as sort of, so I use the phrase, flirt with death to love your life, sort of thing. So this is called Around the Wild Cape Horn. Actually, he stopped at the Giant's Causeway on the way to Hamburg from America to pray for a storm. So somebody must have been listening, because when they actually showed the storm, he had to be tied to the mast to film it. The horizon lines going up, down like this. The Admiralty in London couldn't believe that the ship stayed afloat, but it did. And he became a captain in the United States Navy later on. So this is his story. I was born a land-bound farm boy, and in New England raised. The rippling of the wheat fields, where they were my ocean waves. Each rise and fall, each cry and call of crows across the corn were seagulls moving across the bow of the ship I dreamed I'd sail round Cape Horn. My deck was the dusty farmyard, my mast was the telegraph pole. The wind-blown choir and the telephone wire was the chord in my soul. And it seemed to have been singing Since the day that I was born, you're gonna take a trip on a sailing ship all the way around the wild Cape Horn. I found that ship in Hamburg, her name it was Peking. The skipper's name was Captain Jersel. I never met a man like him. He pulled two men out from the sea by the air in a raging storm, and he kept that grip on the sailing ship all the way around the wild Cape Horn. Now the cargo weighed 5,000 tons, the ship 3,000 more. An acre of sail was up aloft, some 17 stories tall, and we had a pig and a scruffy dog and a turkey fed on corn, and the willing hands to drive her on all the way around the wild Cape Horn. It's 4 hours on and it's 4 hours off, and you're sleeping your wet clothes. The only dry thing on this ship is the cargo down below. The 11,000 miles we sailed, flying on 100 horns. 32 sails on a heaving ship, hauling us around the wild Cape Horn. For 17 days we were becalmed, then Friday the 13th, 68 great ships were lost in the storm of the century. We blew into the Atlantic on some Nick's bottling morn, but the turkey got sick, so we ate him quick all the way around the wild Cape Horn. We lost 2 boys out on that voyage. They got washed overboard. There was silence from us down below. No one could put in words. 2 empty boxes to mark the space in our young lives to mourn, torn between our life and death, all the way around the wild Cape Horn. 'Cause she had us sort of hypnotized, no time to catch her breath. If you wanna love your life, you have to flirt with death. Sail close to the hardest wind, and you treat all risk with scorn. A farm boy and an unyoked team plow their way around the wild Cape Horn. Waves like avalanches crashed upon the decks. Screaming wind ripped ropes and sails and tried to have us wrecked. But she rose and fell through foam and swell, her sails all ripped and torn. 8,000 tons tossed like a cork. We made it round. We made it round the wild Cape Horn. She had us sort of hypnotized, no time to catch our breath. If you want to love your life, you have to flirt with death. Sail close to the hardest wind, and you treat all risk with scorn. A farm boy and an unyoked team plow their way around, plow their way around. They plow their way around the wild Cape Horn. Friday night I had the absolute privilege and great pleasure of working with the RTE Orchestra, and we did a song of mine that I wrote. I was trying to work it out, I think it's probably 1976, and Ryan, who was introducing the Late Late Show, asked me about the song, and at the risk of repeating myself, I'll tell you a little bit about it. I was a pen friend of Woody Guthrie's, the great American songwriter. and a radical thinker and musician and poet. He never actually wrote back to me, but I wrote to him and told him how much I admired his work. And one of the things that Woody advised in his many writings was the dignity of the working man, that any job you did, you could have your dignity in it. And I took him at his word, and during the 60s when there was full employment for kids, I had dozens of different jobs. And one of the happiest jobs I had was on a building site in South London. And I was working with a young fella from Clare. They put me with this young fella. I was a real old soldier at the age of 19. He was about 15, told fibs about his age, and worked like a man anyway. And we were working, shoveling, digging a trench quite deep down. And he was a very shy kid. I think he thought he might get sussed out. That, you know, everyone knew he was underage, but he was drawing a man's wage and earning it, every penny of it, I have to say. I only knew him as Michael, his surname. And one day I paused to roll a cigarette like you do. I don't smoke anymore, but I did in those days. And I paused to roll a cigarette, and to make some sort of conversation, I just said to him, well, Michael, it must be very different for you being here, very strange being in London from where you come from. And he just paused for a split second, and he just said, oh, Jesus, it's a long way from Clare to here. And I just thought, oh, that's really nice, because I would have said it's a long way from here to Clare, because that's where we were. But I just have to say this is the shortest time I know it's a long way from Clare, because I was nearest to him. So it sort of summed up what it was like to be away from home as a young fellow. So I would like to play this. We don't have the orchestra, they're not going to miraculously appear from behind the curtain. But if you feel like joining in, give me a couple of choruses to see if we can agree, and then please do, because it's all. There's four who share this room, and we work hard for the crack. Sleeping late on Sundays, well, I never get to Mass. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, and it gets further day by day. Oh, it's a long way from Clare to here. When Friday comes around, well, terror's only into fighting. And Mom would like to let her home, but I'm too tired for writing. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, and it gets further day by day. It's a long way from Clare to here. But it almost breaks my heart when I think of Josephine. I told her I'd be coming home, but pockets would have been. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, and it gets further day by day. It's a long way from Clare. Now the only time I feel alright is when I'm into drinking. It sort of ease the pain of it, levels out my thinking. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, and it's further day by day. It's a long way from Clare to tragedy. And I sometimes hear a fiddle play, maybe it's an ocean. I dream I see white horses dance upon that other ocean. It's a long way from Clare